That is a different shot. Although I have to say, so on top of that roof over there, they've built out, I believe this is the right one, they built out like a little bar.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the one above the Y building? Yeah.
Yes. I have always wanted to go to that bar, but I've never been invited over there. So we have to figure out.
Okay, this is a goal of mine, too.
Yes.
I thought it was kind of like a private place, but you're saying we could get invites.
Well, I mean, it's
Maybe.
somebody's private place, but I mean, somebody's up there having a good time.
Hit us up.
Yes, please, now that you've seen it. Hello, everyone. This is Digital Trends Live. This is our daily show here from Digital Trends, bringing you the trending tech topics of the day and interviews and more, all while broadcasting live across all of our different platforms. So wherever you're finding us today, thank you for joining us. I'm looking at Facebook. Hello to Brandon, who was upset that he had to sit through 6 minutes of the coffee filling up before the show started. I'm sorry, Brandon. We're here now. We can go with this show. We got Raymond in there. We've got a few other people joining us there on Facebook, but we're also on LinkedIn, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, and lots of other places. Wherever you are, find us and drop in your comments and questions, and we will get to those today. I do want to say it is International Women's Day. So happy International Women's Day. And along those lines, we have, joining us here in just a little bit, is going to be Yifat Bar Eli. And I want to make sure I'm saying your name right, Yifat Bar Eli. And she is the general manager of a company called CyberHat. And basically, it's a company of white hat hackers, like cool stuff. So white hat hackers, so they specialize in cyber defense services and solutions. So she's going to come on and talk about that and just what it's like being a woman in that industry in general and what they do. We also have coming up later on the show, we've got Davin Matthews, our photography editor, who's going to be joining us. He's got the Panasonic S1 and S1R, and I believe we're going to unbox one of them live here. It's not even for sale yet, so we're going to unbox one live here on the show. But joining right now here in studio, it is Nicole Rainey. Hello, Nicole.
Thank you. I
want to do the dramatic pause. Yeah. I'm trying to work out some different intros.
I feel like very jazzed up.
Yeah,
now.
Good. Well, we've got a bunch of stuff to get to here today, and why don't we start off with some news? Okay.
Hit me.
So here's the news. Samsung Galaxy S10, the thing that we've been talking about for months and months and months, is finally actually out for sale. I feel like after the Unpacked event, it's just like, okay, yeah, no, everybody's got it now. It's like, no, it's actually for sale. So it's today. It's out on store shelves. You can pick it up. We have our review up at digitaltrends.com, and Julian gave it a pretty good review.
Yeah, I was reading through it because I haven't had the opportunity to play with one yet. My phone is sadly like an S6 or an S7, so quite a few generations behind. But everything he says makes it seem really appealing. You know, I love the camera. I love the photography aspect. The only thing that kind of made me a little scared was the price tag.
Yeah. It is quite expensive, which that's the thing though with the newer phones that are coming out. It seems like the flagship phones, like $1,000 is the standard price at this point.
That is a good point.
Which is a lot of money. I mean, whether it's an Apple, whether it's Samsung, whoever it is, Google even, I think they maybe keep theirs at like $899, but I could even be wrong about that. I can't remember what the Pixel 3's at. But yeah, it's $1,000. It's a lot of money. You do get a lot with this phone, and based on that review, I mean, like you said, the photography ability is really amazing. That they have on there. But one thing that's a key aspect that people are starting to get used to is the hole punch camera, which is the camera. I swear I have no idea what's going on right there. There's somebody pounding on the wall. I believe we're safe in our bunker. Those are the zombies trying to get into this building. We're in an office building.
I was kind of hoping it would just open up, like there was a secret door in the back of the studio.
Back. Yeah, well, we're broadcasting live in case you couldn't tell. But one of the things though with the new S10s are the hole punch cameras that are on there. So it's interesting. And there's now been developed an entire subreddit that is just for screensavers for these S10s.
I am so excited. These are so funny. Like, even more so than Julian's glowing review of the phone, the backgrounds that people are making make me want to have one of these.
Where they're putting it in there, because the camera's in the upper right, and so they put these backgrounds on there to hide it in the middle of it. Boom, the eclipse right there, that is perfect. And this subreddit has, I mean, it looks like there's hundreds of them on there because everybody's developing them different.
That one's my favorite.
This one's pretty great.
I've seen a couple different versions too, where it's like Vladimir Putin instead, but definitely that's the winner right there.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good. Yeah, the Simpsons one is pretty amazing too. They've got so many of them. I pulled a whole bunch of them just to take a look at it. This, I mean, if I didn't want the phone before, now I want it just so that I can go ahead and get this.
Absolutely.
I'm taking a look here. Oh yeah, in the live chat, I'm looking at Facebook, and I'm going to hop over to LinkedIn here too and take a look look at that. George just asked, earthquakes in Portland? I don't think that was the earthquake. We don't know. We'll have to turn on the outside camera here in a minute and see what happened. But I think we're all right. Raymond just said, love that Eclipse one. The Eclipse one is pretty great.
That's another good one.
That's one of my favorites too, yeah. They're just hilarious. So as people are starting to get these S10s, you're going to see more and more creative ways to set your screensavers to them. Pretty awesome.
So what do you think? You're a Samsung user too, right?
I am, actually.
Are you going to go for it?
I can't do the $1,000. As much as I want it, and I really want that phone, just based on the reviews of it, and I did get to actually get my hands on it for a minute when Julian was in here. It is a really fantastic phone. But I'm just not ready to pay $1,000.
Well, what I love too about Digital Trends is we often offer alternatives. So one of the things that Julian pointed out, that he's still testing the S10e, but that will be smaller and a little less pricey. And then just the normal S10 is like $900 compared to like $1,000 or $1,000 some change for the Plus. The
Plus, I believe it's maybe up to $1,200 for that one if you get the expanded memory on it. But I could be wrong on that. There's definitely some expansions you can do. I mean, it's cheaper than the Galaxy Fold, which is I think $1,850, $1,980. That's what it was. It's about $2,000. So yeah, definitely cheaper than that one. Although that's not even going to be out for quite a while. Taking a look here, just at some of the things coming through on LinkedIn. Hello, everybody who's there. Chris, I'm not even going to repeat that comment, but that's funny. And it looks like, we're having a little bit of trouble with some of the broadcast stuff. So taking a look on there as we're doing this, broadcasting live across all of our different platforms. So that's the bottom line on that, is that the Galaxy S10 is out for sale now. And if you're getting one, you can check out all of those special screensavers. All right, let's go to another favorite segment here at Digital Trends, and that is Read 'em and Weep.
Yay.
Where we take a look at the comments. As I said, we do read the comments live, but we also read them afterward as well. So when they are posted, sometimes we like them, sometimes we don't like them. Regardless, we read them and respond, and we appreciate you leaving them. And so, we're going to take a look at some of them here right now for this special portion of Digital Trends that we do every day here. Jake takes the time to gather up the comments. We don't see them beforehand, so I have no idea what's going to be up. Preston Tucker. He sounds kind of like a villain in an 80s movie. Regarding the USB 4 is coming, and you'll have data transfer speeds as fast as Thunderbolt 3. The header reads, it's almost here. But then the last paragraph says that's because of how long it took to release USB 3.2. We shouldn't expect it anytime soon. I'm not holding my breath. Yeah, you're kind of right on that one. Okay, I'll give you that. I know what you're referencing. So the USB 4 is probably not going to be out until next year.
Okay.
Because we're just getting USB 3.2. Yeah, all right, Preston,
I'll give it to you.
You're right.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still coming, and it is almost here. Especially when you're talking about, I feel like, tech release timelines. Like, we're talking about the Galaxy Fold, like you said, like, when is that going to come? Like a year or two? So,
well,
I feel like
they're saying April, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I still think that's pretty close.
Yeah, next year in tech terms, yeah, that should be almost here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we kind of agree, kind of don't. Preston Tucker
Agree to
the
disagree.
All right,
Princexico.
Okay. Regarding how 5G will change your smartphone and your life in 2019, humans are creating their own extinction, slowly but surely, stupidest species on planet Earth.
I'm not going to argue against that, but I don't know how that has to do with 5G.
Oh, yeah, the 5G comments are through the roof. I mean, just on YouTube alone, there's one of our videos we have a 5G explainer on there, and I believe it has over 5,000, 6,000 comments. Nothing gets people out of the woodworks more than 5G. Whether you believe it's going to be the create our own extinction, as this person says, or whether you're all for 5G and you want it, lots of people have opinions on it. We've got a story we're going to try to get to here today in our news segments that I think is going to be a really good one for conspiracy theorists.
Oh, I love it.
It combines a bunch of things all into one. Well, all right. Thank you very much there regarding how 5G will change your smartphone. All right, walking through our comments, Joshua Hansen, regarding these robots were made for the water bottle flip challenge. Somehow we've gone from BattleBots to bottle flipping robots. This feels like a devolution.
Bring it back. I'm right with you, Joshua. BattleBots, I missed that.
BattleBots I thought they were actually bringing that back. I remember, I'm pretty sure they are bringing it back in some form. Like, they need battle bots, they need drone wars where you fight and try to take somebody else's drone down.
Love it.
I mean, there's all kinds of things we could do with
Drone
that.
racing is so last year. Drone fighting.
Yes.
The sport of the future.
Yes, with little, like, Nerf missiles or something so you
Love
can
it.
take out another drone. Yes, that is. Joshua, we're on board with you with that. I did see this video. I mean, it's neat, but yeah, it seems like a lot of work to just flip over.
No offense to the robots. I mean, they worked really hard to practice that skill. You know,
we don't need the angry robot emails.
Yeah, you know, I
in.
think it's really great. Like they accomplished something, but I'd rather see some carnage.
I am upset with Nicole. All right, well, we agree, so we'll have to see if we can get that going. We definitely need some battle bots back in our lives. All right, George, regarding Japan's version of the Amazon Echo, is a holographic girl in a tube. Cracker from Archer make this thing. If you haven't seen this, I know what we're referencing here. It is it's a unique home assistant where it is an anime holographic woman, and that is who you come home to, and it talks to you. There's a video, there's a whole article about this thing on the website. Apparently, it can also text you while you're at work and say that it misses you. And
if you don't get the reference, just Google Krager from Archer, and you'll quickly see some compilation YouTube videos.
That will
this is a character on
this.
an adult cartoon show.
So be forewarned if you're Googling it.
But I feel like we can't go into further detail.
We'll
on that
just
one.
leave it at that. George, yes. I think the answer is yes. All right. Walking through here, we've got Darren, Fake It Till You Make It, How to Shoot and Edit Amateur Vlogs that Look Pro. Excellent write-up. These are actually good tips for general filming as well, not just for vlogs, and I wish more people could read this. Wow.
Oh.
That's a good
I'm
one.
touched. I think this is the first time since I've been on the show that I've read a positive
compliment.
one. Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, Darren. I'm not sure whose article that was, but we'll have to take a look. We'll make sure that they know that. Darren, thank you for a nice compliment on Friday. All right, should we continue on with some news here? There is one thing. I wanted to bring this up just as more of like a warning, because this is a trending story right now, and every day we kind of take a look at what's trending. And this is one that has to do with Google Chrome. If you are a Google Chrome user, I am one myself, you need to check immediately to make sure you have the latest version of Google Chrome, because there was a 0-day exploit that came out that Google announced, and most people have it set to auto-update, but there's one thing that's key with this. You have to restart your browser, so you need to check and make sure you have the latest browser. What this thing was doing is it was a backdoor into hacking it to where you could install malware and all kinds of different things, and Google just figured this out.
Well, see, I feel like this is also like a good argument for auto updates versus manual updates. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really guilty of being like, no,
Yeah.
I want to choose when I'm going to update something, and then I'll ignore the notification like 5,000 times.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a good argument for auto update, because now, I mean, how many people know how to check whether or not their browser's up to date?
Right? Yeah. I didn't beforehand, but you actually, if you do use Google Chrome, you can go into the upper right-hand corner, go to your settings, and it'll let you know if you have the newest version. And if you don't, update it right away. So that's just kind of a public service announcement for anybody out there using Google Chrome. Check it. Don't wait on it. Google was very serious about it. Also, the other thing is for people who are still using Windows 7, which, all right, let's move on from Windows 7. It's a little bit old at this point. Update to Windows 10. But if you are using Windows 7, there's also another exploit for that Google informed Microsoft about. Apparently, Microsoft is working on an update. But be forewarned, read up on that right now if you are using Windows 7. Be aware. All right, let's go on with some other news. There's our public service announcement for the day. We have this. This is a rumor about Apple.
I love the Apple rumors.
There's always the Apple rumors.
Should we enter Tim Cook into our billionaire fight?
Ooh, do you think he should go in there?
Yeah,
Tim
I think
Apple,
so.
you mean?
Yeah, Tim Apple, you're right.
Apple? So our billionaire fight, and this is something that Nicole and I came up with here. We've got Elon Musk,
Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson,
Yeah,
Tim Apple.
Should we put Tim Apple? Does he include it?
Player 4 enters the ring.
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna say
like the wild card.
Yeah, I like that, especially after his Twitter name update following the.
Fine. Tim Apple
Done.
just got thrown into the mix.
So
All
what
right.
is Tim Apple? What are the Tim Apple rumors today?
The Tim Apple rumors have to do, there's always rumors about Apple, but this is one that's actually, there's an Apple analyst named Ming-Chi Kuo for the Economic Daily News who somehow breaks a lot of Apple rumors, and a lot of them end up being true. I don't know what his inside source is, but this rumor has to do with next year. in that Apple has not given up on making their own AR glasses. And the idea of this is that they're going to do it in a little bit of a different way, where it's going to be an iPhone accessory, possibly as early as next year.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what would happen with that is, if it was an accessory, this is a mock-up that TechAcute made. So this isn't exactly what they would look like. You know, I'm assuming we'd want a better design than that anyway. If they.
Yeah. I don't necessarily want like bro glasses if I'm going to be walking around augmenting my reality.
You're not into the bro glasses, Nicole?
Not exactly.
But the way it would work, though, if this does come out that way, it would actually be a pretty cool application of it. So it would be an accessory, not a standalone product, which means it wouldn't be as bulky. It would be using location data from the iPhone, beaming everything from the iPhone. So that's where the real work would be done. And then they could concentrate on just having the lenses do the AR stuff that they want it to do.
So something lighter and hopefully more stylish.
Yeah, hopefully more stylish. But I like the idea of augmented reality a lot. I'm a big proponent of it, although I don't feel like anybody's really done it great yet. The HoloLens sounds cool, but it's not something that any consumer can really get their hands on. We've seen a couple of Focal had theirs that came out. Snapchat. Snapchat had theirs.
But see, this is where we disagree. I'm not a super huge fan of augmented reality. I mean, I love the technology. Like, I love the idea of it. I love the game applications that are there. But still, there's something that kind of like weirds me out about walking around with a headset on, or these Apple Oakleys.
Is it because?
And not being completely aware of your environment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's that aspect, of not being aware of your environment. There's also, what about the camera aspect?
Yeah, it's always, exactly. I still like the technology. I think it's a really neat idea. It's just not something I don't think I'm ever going to adopt. And
really?
I'd be interested to see if other people kind of feel the same way too. There's just something about adding to your reality also detracts from your reality.
All right. Yeah, you've got a good point there. I want to see, like you said, what do people think? Like, are you excited about augmented reality glasses? Because there are a lot of companies working on them right now. Nobody's really knocked it out of the park yet, although I've heard the Focals are pretty good, although they're still expensive and no idea what this would cost either. But if you're already paying, $1,000 for the iPhone, if this is just an added-on benefit, maybe the glasses are a couple $100. And out of
that's a really good point.
I could, since the real work's being done by the iPhone, I think that would be something that's pretty cool. I like the idea of it, although the more you say it, in practicality, if I'm walking around with the glasses and typing things in the air, maybe, I could see where that's a bit of an issue.
We'll get used to it though. We always did. Like we weren't used to walking around with tiny computers in our pockets, and here we are.
That's true. I mean, eventually it's just going to be on contact lenses.
There you
that's
go.
Where we're going. It's just going to be contacts. You just assume you're always being filmed, and I guess you're going to have to assume that anyway now. Yeah, okay, never mind. Just got depressing. All right, that is the rumor with the Apple AR glasses of what we are hearing right now, and you can check that out at Digital Trends. I'm sure we'll have an article up very shortly about that as well. As we go through the rumors, something else, and this is one thing I wanted to bring up yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to go through it. We're going from AR to VR, and Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch now has their own virtual reality system that has come out, and it's kind of interesting. I have to say, it's unlike any other VR system we have seen.
Is it weird that I'm more excited about this VR system than I am the hopefully really awesome AR system?
I mean,
look at it. It's so.
It is a modular cardboard VR system. I think you can tell by who they have modeling these, who it's generally aimed for. But that's what they're going for. So this cardboard system, you buy the kit, and I believe you buy a kit, and then you can change it up kind of however you want to build out these different versions.
And like you mentioned, it's kind of aimed towards a younger audience.
Yeah.
But I'd be lying if I said I probably wasn't going to try this.
Really? So do you have a Nintendo Switch?
I don't, but I've been wanting to get one for a while.
Yeah. Do you game a lot, or what do you play on?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm like super
that's
behind.
Right. That's right.
It's like I like video games, but I play games that are like 5 years old.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, they're way cheaper if you do it that way. Well, the Nintendo version is going to be out, I believe, let me make sure I get it right, I think it's April 12th. Yeah, so it's coming out soon. And they said they want to get to a demographic that's not traditionally reached by games at all. I think the case with Nintendo Labo, that's the name of it, right now, is that there are some people who know about it and quite a lot of potential for us to explore. So it's something that they want to work on, that they want to try to expand this idea of it. I do like what Nintendo's doing. I mean, they're doing things kind of their own way. The Switch has sold huge. I mean, how many people out there right now watching own a Switch? And is that something you would want to get? Do you want to get the modular VR system? I am picturing, since a lot of Switch players will play it on public transit, are you going to be walking around?
Just walking around with that cardboard elephant
with
face.
your cardboard elephant.
I love it.
Walking around. I don't know if I want to be around that person on the public transportation. But I do want to know, who's going to be getting that. So if you had a Switch, you would get this.
Probably. I mean, the price point for some of the older kids, I think, was only about like $40. So it's not a crazy investment, but it is kind of interesting considering the fact that you're basically just buying like special cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
So I can definitely understand people's hesitation, and Nintendo's pretty infamous for doing interesting products.
Yeah,
but do. Like you said, like that's why I like it. Like sometimes it's ridiculous, but for some reason we love it.
Yeah, I mean they do their own thing. Well, let us know if you're going to be picking up the Nintendo VR system.
Send us pics.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in public places while you're walking around with your elephant VR system. All right, another story here that we want to get to before we go to a break, and we'll have our interview on here in just a few minutes. Let's talk about something that I think is going to really bring out the conspiracy theorists. Oh, we do have a comment there. I love the Switch and love Nintendo games. It's my only system. All right, so Justin just uses the Switch. That's interesting. I use a PS4, but I've not played the Switch. Well, no, I take that back. I've tried it here, and it is pretty cool. But let us know, Justin, are you going to get the VR system? I think that's the key. All right, another topic to get to today has to do with SoftBank of all companies, and we're talking about 5G, and this is where I feel like the conspiracy theorists are really going to have a field day. SoftBank is working with a company called AeroVironment to create a solar-powered drone that would beam 5G from the skies. So this is a way to try kind of bridge that gap with 5G, and this thing would be there's an example of what it would be, which is a huge drone.
Yeah, when drone means it's unpiloted, but it really is just like a massive plane?
Yeah.
A plane-sized drone? I mean, this thing looks insane.
Yeah, it's, it is crazy. It's 10 propellers are on this thing, if I'd have to count them. Maybe there's a little bit more than that. And the way it would work is, it would go up, it would fly. Let's see, they have 10 electric engines, that's what it was. Would carry the drone to an operational altitude of about 12.5 miles. And that's according to filings with the FAA and the SEC. So this is far enough along. They've been filing with this. They're also working with NASA on this project. And it would be to help send out 5G. They've been doing test flights right now up to about 1.86 miles during the next 3 months. This is when this starts. The name of the drone is the Hawk 30.
Of course.
Yeah, the Hawk 30. That's pretty good. But yeah, it would beam 5G down.
Beam 5G.
Beam 5G. How do you feel about this, Nicole?
I think it's pretty great. I mean, it seems really outlandish on the level. At first glance to me, it seems outlandish, but I think it's just because I don't quite understand how that technology works, which is why I'm going to be doing some more reading on DT to see if I can find. I know this article does a really great explainer, but we also have some other great explainers about 5G and how it's not going to be the end of times. Right, yeah. There's a lot of people that do feel that, like I said, with the comments that come through on 5G articles regarding the health concerns. I'll say this, I've tried to find anything from legitimate medical end as far as if there's anything to worry about with 5G. So far, I have not. If you have any legitimate links you'd like to send in to us, please do. Before we get into the stupidest species on Earth comments like we had earlier. But yeah, I think this is a way that would probably get this out faster. And the end game too, right, is that it's supposed to help areas in which they don't have reliable internet connections. Yeah. So it is going to help. I like that concept of just being able to reach places that we can't reach normally. Yeah. With a massive 10 propeller drone. Right. I mean, I think that's a good point. I mean, one of the goals, there's a lot of the world doesn't have access to internet, and there are a bunch of companies that are working on different kinds of solutions for this. But satellite, Facebook, I think, is still working on their drone system that they want to use to bring internet. SpaceX and or Starlink, actually the spinoff of it, they're going to be launching. I think it's 12,000 satellites that are going up that are going to be to have global internet access. But maybe this would even be a better way, maybe in the long run, a less intrusive way, so you don't have thousands and thousands of more satellites going up.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. But it's certainly far enough along if they're working with NASA and they're doing some test flights. We'll see how it all works out. So that's, again, talking about the 5G, the solar-powered drone that would beam 5G to the masses. Cue the comments. That's what we'll be going with on that. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Digital Trends Live, as I'm losing my voice right now, and it's back. Keelan King, yeah, don't ask them for links. I know I did make that mistake. I did ask for the links. Well, Nicole, thank you for joining here.
Thanks for having me.
For the top of this show. It's always fun to talk about these different trending tech topics and everything that we have going, and we want to see your comments. We do want to see the comments, so drop those in there as we go through. We're going to be taking a quick break, and then we're going to be coming back with Yifat Bar Eli, who is the general manager of CyberHat. We're going to talk about white hat hackers and what that entire world is like, what CyberHat does. You know, we talked about some different hackers earlier in this show, and I'm sure she has some amazing things to talk about with it and what they're doing to help prevent that. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a second with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you, everyone, for joining us wherever you find us. We really do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button, and you can join in with our live chat as we go through the show. I'm Greg Nibbler, and I'm very excited about our next guest for a number of reasons. I'm really excited to learn about this. But we have Yifat Bar Eli, who is joining us right now. I hope I said the name correctly. She is the general manager of CyberHat. Hello.
Hello, Greg. You said it perfectly fine.
Yes. Good. Nailed it out of the gate. Thank you. Well,
nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited to have you here on the show. And I wanted to talk about, so it looks like we're getting a little bit of feedback. I want to confirm with our production crew. Okay, looks like we're getting just a little bit of feedback. So for everybody watching live, this is live. So sometimes we have a little bit of a tech issue, and you're all the way on the other side of the world, I believe. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good tech connection right here. So let's talk about CyberHat. Let's start from the beginning. What does CyberHat do?
Well, CyberHat was established around 7 years ago. Today, our main goal and our flagship is actually to provide the best SOC, Security Operations Center, in the world. This means we provide monitoring, investigation, detection, and incident response to companies all over the world, 24/7. We started up as a very small and tactical company. We have some bunch of very talented people from the Israeli Defense Force. Our headquarters is in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and we have another branch, our offices in New York. So we started as a very small and tactical company. We used to do projects for Fortune 500 companies all over the world. It was hacking simulation. We hacked for some of the largest companies. We do cyber assessment. We do threat hunting. We do incident response. And of course, as I mentioned, the major service and solution we have today is the 24/7 SOC, Operations Center.
That is covering a lot of different territory right there. Let's talk about, the general term white hat hacker. which is what a lot of what you're doing. How does one get into that field? How do you become a white hat hacker? Do you have to be a black hat hacker first, or how does this work?
Well, I'm guessing first we need to understand what's the difference between a white hat hacker and a black hat hacker. So basically, it's pretty simple. The white hat hackers are just the good guys, which means they are all trying to do stuff to just that they can report it, so they can learn, so they can understand. But both hackers, and if I may say, even most of the hackers, are just starting from pure curiosity. They are just have passion to understand how things work. And that's why they try to understand and to hack systems, application, and to understand what's going on backstage and try to understand how can they have a maneuver and how can they penetrate this and then to report it back. We do have our white hat hackers. We have a team of red, we call them the red team, because for us, all they do is just to hack our customers all over the world. All they receive is just the name of the company, and it can be a huge enterprise or a small company, and their goal will just to achieve or to gain access to all the sensitive data and to even gain a domain admin on their organization network.
Wow, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Do you?
You should try. You should try. It's a great position to be.
I don't think anybody wants me trying to hack into anything. But I mean, with this, do you find that a lot of companies, and there's a lot of territory we want to cover here, but do you find a lot of companies are surprised by how easily they're hackable, or are companies more aware now to where their security is built up and it's a lot harder?
Well, for sure, you can see that the level of awareness among organizations is increasing. With time, more and more organizations are becoming more and more aware. We can see that, but having said that, I can say for sure that our main attacking vector is throughout phishing campaign. That can be a targeted phishing campaign or just a phishing campaign. We send all the organizational employees, and people do open those files and people do double click on those files. So as much as the awareness is increasing, we can still achieve and do our job pretty good.
Well, it's a fascinating industry, absolutely, to be into. And speaking of the industry, it's International Women's Day, which happy International Women's Day, Yifat. And I wanted to talk to you about this because, I think generally we probably, as a society, think of this as a male-dominated a field. When you think about hacking, when you think about cybersecurity, why that is, I guess there's a lot of reasons, but what is it like for you coming up? What were some of the challenges you had just because of this, ridiculousness that it's male dominated?
Well, I can tell you this. I hear this a lot, this gender thing, but the challenges are challenges with every profession you will choose. You have challenges in becoming a doctor and performing as a doctor, as well as you have challenges within the cyber domain industry. Eventually, we just try to do our job, and cyber is more than just technology. It's all about people. You have customers in the end. You have so many people on the ground, on site. So I don't feel like I have a specific challenges for me for being a woman, but there are a lot of myths. I mean, for example, we had a cyber assessment in a company in New York. I took one of the hacker, she's also a female, and we went on site and we sat in the meeting room and we were waiting for this guy to come and we will be able to interview. And when he got inside the room, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I think I have the wrong room." Oh. And we asked, "Why?" And he said, "Because I need to get to the cyber experts." And we said, well, this is it. We are the cyber experts. And he was like, "What?" He was like expecting to have two person with a hoodies on her heads. I don't know what. That's kind of funny. You can see that a lot. But the challenges eventually are the same challenges. The only limitation you have is the one you will set for yourself. That's it. You can have challenges in every profession.
That makes sense. I mean, that's ridiculous on that guy's account. It's like, all right, well, you want your site hacked then. Okay, go ahead. But for when it comes to like CyberHat in general, you know, because you did mention that everything's evolving. Like the hackers and people trying to break into sites are always evolving. And even just today, over the last couple of days, we saw Google, you know, getting hacked. Chrome was hacked. How do you stay ahead of that? How do you try to keep track of everything that's going on and stay one step ahead of everybody?
First thing is we are very early adopters of technology. If there's something new, some device, some technology, security technology is available up there, we first try it on ourselves. This is something we like to do. And the second thing is that we have our own internal red team of hackers. So what they do is if they come across to a new technique, a new tool, a new method to break in, to breach, to anything that they can do to penetrate, they will immediately inform our investigator within the room, within the security operations center. So all of our defense is combined with our attacking point of view. I mean, we think like an attacker, we act like an attacker, and from that point of view, we create a very solid defense mechanism. The other thing we do is every new employee we have in the red team, we have, the first challenge we give him is please attack the company. Go ahead, everything you know, every new method you come with, anything, we'll be more than happy to improve. We see our improvement is very important. We understand it's an ongoing process. You can never be prepared, okay? There will always be something new. But we try to, from other people's experience, always to learn and have lesson learning and to improve ourselves constantly.
Wow, it's really exciting just learning about this, and I think that's pretty funny to start your first day like, okay, yeah, go ahead, try, attack me. Well, how can people find out more about CyberHat, and if they're a company wanting to hire you for services, what's the best thing for them to do?
Not to give up, to have full motivation, to come and try to prove themselves. We are looking for people that can really think outside of the box. I mean, I have employees, we don't have this ceiling that you cannot move. If you're an analyst and you want to see attack, you can sit with the attackers. If you want to see the cyber assessment, you can go with the team. I mean, we practically don't have limitation. You can do whatever you want as long as you are here to study and evolve. So whoever wants to do this, I just, my personal opinion is go ahead. Don't be afraid. It's not just technology. It's not just computer. You don't sit in a basement of whatever and you hack. It's a whole world. It's a beautiful world with customers and people and everything. And you have to solve problem in a daily matter every day. And it's really interesting. Just don't give up and don't be afraid of the technology.
Yifat, thank you so much for joining us here today. So what's the best website for people to go to?
Website?
Yeah.
Our website.
CyberHat.com? Okay. I wanted to make sure that was where to send everybody. Well, Yifat, thank you so much for joining us. This has been such a pleasure talking to you, learning about this, and best of continued success. And really excited to have you here on Digital Trends Live.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. All right, that was Yifat Bar Eli from CyberHat right here on the show. Really interesting learning about that. Just the concept of showing up for work at a company and being like, all right, yeah, now attack me. Try to attack the company that you just got hired by. That's interesting, but important stuff. And that's one of the things here with Digital Trends Live. We learn about all kinds of things as we go through this show. We're live every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you all kinds of different topics and questions. And we're broadcasting live, so we're going back and forth with you as you're talking. And right now, what we're going to do is going to take a quick break, and then we have Davin Matthews, our photography editor, who's going to be joining us, and he is going to be talking about, want to make sure I get the cameras right, the Panasonic Lumix S1, and I believe we're going to be actually unboxing them as we're going through here. Let's make sure I got that right. Yes, Panasonic S1. Sorry, the Panasonic S1. That's the one we're going to be talking about. So we'll have an unboxing, broadcasting live, talking to you across all these different platforms. So stick around with this. We'll be right back after this with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you for joining us wherever you found us. We appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button. And of course, drop in your comments and questions as we go through the show. I'm Greg Nibbler. Very excited for this next segment. We are joined now by Davin Matthews, our photography editor. Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. This looks impressive.
Yeah.
This box that we have in front of us. So let's talk about some cameras. And these are, I'm going to have you walk through because I don't know, but we're talking about the Panasonic Lumix S1?
Yes, so the S1 and the S1R,
okay,
which is what we'll be unboxing today. Hadn't really planned on unboxing it, but when they sent it to me, it showed up in what appears to be the final retail packaging,
and this is
which
not
is
for
exciting
sale yet.
Because these aren't shipping yet. So you can put your back orders in, and they've announced everything about them and everything. But yeah, so we actually have one in the box, which is cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we dive right in?
Maybe should we talk about the S1 first?
Yeah, we can actually talk about that. So I do have a hands-on of the S1 now up on Digital Trends. So that went up yesterday.
Okay.
So I did get a chance to play with these cameras in Austin a couple weeks ago. Panasonic held a Lumix S1 event for a bunch of press.
Yeah.
So I did get some time with the S1. It's a great camera. I think the thing that may cause hesitation is the price for a lot of people. So these are very high-end cameras. And one thing Panasonic said is that even though some of the specs on like the S1 look very similar to the Sony a7 III, it is priced $500 higher.
Wow. So
the S1 starts at $2,500 just for the camera body. So these are kind of really targeting working professionals or high-end enthusiasts who have the money to burn and they just want a really nice camera as well. And then the S1R starts at $3,700.
Dang.
So the only difference is the sensor. Physically, they're identical. The feature set is all, well, there are some, the S1's a little better for video than the S1R, but the main difference is the sensor. So the S1R has a 47 megapixel sensor. The S1 has a 24 megapixel sensor.
But it shoots better video.
Yes, so the lower megapixel sensor, this is pretty typical actually.
Okay.
You tend to find that you get better video off of these lower megapixel sensors. And the reason for that is that 4K video only uses about, I think it's like 8.3 megapixels.
Okay.
So it's the way that they scale that is it's less processor intensive. You can get a cleaner image starting with just 24. Rather than 47. And some cameras, like the Panasonic GH5S, which is their other Micro Four Thirds system, it's a smaller sensor, that only has, I think it's like 10 megapixels.
Wow.
And the way it scales, it just gives you an exact pixel-to-pixel ratio for making your 4K video from that. So yeah, so cameras that are designed for video tend to have fewer megapixels for that reason. But yeah, so this, as we have this here, this is the kit. So this is the S1R plus the 24-105 lens. This is, I think, $4,600.
Wow.
So when you spend that much on a camera, you get this nice box, apparently, which is a good touch. This is some high quality cardboard here. So.
Dang. Well, should we go ahead and open it up?
Yeah, let's do it. Try to.
Yeah, $4,700. 47 is what you just said?
46, I believe, for the kit. Yeah.
Okay, well then now it's affordable for me. 4,700. That would have been out of the range.
Yeah, that's just too much. So we've got a bunch of smaller boxes in here.
And this is again, like you said, the whole kit. So this is if you're buying the whole package.
So camera and lens. Okay, so this is all of our little charging and power bits. We've got USB-C, so the camera can be powered over USB-C, which is kind of nice. The battery, one interesting thing about this battery, this is it's a 3,000 milliamp battery, which is actually pretty big for cameras. So most, like your Canon 5D Mark IVs, your DSLRs, those will have like a 1,800 milliamp battery.
It's almost double.
So it's almost double the capacity. But because of some of the things this camera is powering, like a very high resolution viewfinder, you only get about 380 photos per charge. On an SLR, which uses an optical viewfinder, which draws basically no power, you might get to 3,000 in real world use.
I was gonna say, if you're out there, if you're targeting professionals, like you're gonna need some spare batteries.
Right.
Because you're gonna go through that many pictures quick.
And that's definitely, I mean, my first recommendation, which if you're a working pro buying this camera, you already know. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to pick up some spares because you will burn through those pretty quickly, especially if you're going to shoot video too, obviously.
Yeah. All right, so we've got the battery. So it comes with 3,000 milliamp battery. And if you have any questions you want to drop in here, please, get those on, and I will definitely we'll refer those to Davin. I see Christopher
Manuals.
on LinkedIn just said $4,700. Don't drop it. 46.
I'm gonna
46.
try
My
really
bad.
hard.
But yeah. Don't drop. That's why I'm not touching it. This is why Davin's a professional who's handling this. I'm staying well away. If you notice, my coffee cup is way over here too.
These will remain sealed for all of time. That's
Yeah, it's still funny to me that instruction booklets still come with things.
it's a good.
I guess,
I
yeah.
recommend reading the manuals. Okay, you'll learn a lot, but nobody.
But I
does.
mean, don't you? Can't you just read that online? I mean, at some point, yeah.
Okay, looks like.
Although
we've
then again,
got-
if I'm spending $4,600, I want everything. I want all the bells and whistles. Give me the booklet.
Ooh.
Wow.
So yeah, this is it.
Wow.
So cosmetically, the only difference between the S1R and the S1 is literally the S1R marking.
That's it.
So you get that,
Otherwise, it
that
looks
red
exactly the
R.
same.
You get another one on the back there that lets everyone know you're a little bit fancier and more,
A little
more
bit better.
expensive than.
Oh, how neat! You have an S1. Oh.
So one thing about this camera, other than the price, that may turn some people away, is it's very heavy. So I believe it's about 2¼ pounds.
Wow.
Which for a mirrorless camera is a lot.
Yeah.
That's right up there with full frame SLRs, and a little bit heavier than some. But it feels
drop it,
great.
don't drop it,
It's
don't drop it.
incredibly well made, and that's one of the things that Panasonic is
It does
really
feel good.
focusing on. It's weather sealed, so if you're out in the rain, if you're out in the snow or the dust,
Yeah.
it's going to be able to withstand that.
I wouldn't do that, but yeah, I don't want to break anything on this. It does feel nice. I mean, we'll say at that weight though, if you're out there as a professional, or if you're out, shooting a lot of pictures, that does seem like it would weigh on you for
Yeah,
a while.
well, that's one thing I noticed in Austin is, they handed them to us at dinner, and we were at a barbecue restaurant, and I'm a vegetarian, so I didn't have much to do. So I was playing around with the camera.
That's probably one of the worst places to go out to dinner.
I mean, we were going to Texas. I assumed it was, going to be tough. But yeah, so I was playing around with the camera, and it was after like 5 minutes I had to set it down. I was like, okay, this is really heavy.
Yeah.
And that's, it obviously only gets worse when, I'm assuming this is the lens. Oh no, can I figure this out? Oh, I got it, okay.
Save the segment. Thank you.
Professional at work.
Thank you.
Okay. We do have a lens hood. I'm just going to leave that in here for
Okay.
safety. So this is the 24-105 f4. That's a pretty standard zoom now that we're seeing several different manufacturers make. Oh my gosh, dude.
Don't drop it.
Wait, is this actually, okay, no, there we go.
And again, we're walking this through, so this is the $4,600 package, that you would
Yeah.
get.
That's the lens there.
It does look cool.
Yeah, this is actually, it's not that heavy for what
Yeah.
it is. This is a relatively compact, lightweight lens, which is nice. But even so,
Combined with the 2.5 pounds or
right,
whatever
this
that
is.
is. Yeah, that does add up for a while. Seeing some comments come through on Facebook. Shout out to all right.
I mean, this is
Hi,
pretty
Heather.
rad, though.
Alexis, let's see. Vicky says, "How much are the spare batteries?"
I actually don't know. I need to look that up. I didn't get a chance to look it up before coming on here. My guess is they're probably pretty expensive because they
Yeah.
are those high capacity batteries.
Okay.
But I don't want to give a number because
We don't know
want
for
to be
sure.
Totally wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Claudia says on LinkedIn, better budget in for a good camera, or a good camera as well, or a good camera strap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good strap, good bag.
I'm seeing Jake asked, how is the image stabilization?
It's very good. So that's, one thing that impressed me a lot was the stabilization. It's not quite as good as the Olympus camera. I was
Okay.
or like I guess that was 2 times ago that I was on the show.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah,
Olympus,
that was the Olympus one.
Last month they announced the EM1X. That has 7.5 stops maximum shake reduction power.
Okay.
This has 6, I believe. And that's when you combine the internal stabilization, the sensor-based stabilization, with the lens-based stabilization. So, and it's very good. If Olympus hadn't done 7.5, this would have been very close to being the best out there.
Right.
And it works very well in both video and stills. And of course, this also has the pixel shift mode where it uses that stabilization motor to actually create higher resolution files by taking 8 photos. It kind of moves in a box pattern.
So per photo, you're getting 8 photos?
Yeah, so you get 8 photos stitched together into one, which basically magnifies your resolution.
Yeah, that's
so cool. So on this guy, you get I think it's 188 megapixel output from that, and on the S1, which starts with a smaller sensor, you get 96 megapixels, which is still really high. So that's actually a reason why a lot of people may, even if you want that higher resolution, you may still be able to get that with the S1, so long as you don't need that much resolution except for your tripod work, like maybe landscapes and still lifes and that kind of thing, then you can get 96 megapixels out of the S1, which, surprise, sent me. So you can actually
so that's the S1
these
itself.
look very identical.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can get 96 megapixels out of the S1, which is already more than enough for most people.
What would you need 180 megapixels for compared to 96?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
billboards, or I mean, even at 96, you can probably do that.
Right. Well, I mean, there's been some interesting studies looking at billboards that have actually shown, like, you can print a billboard from 2 megapixels because people are going to look at it from 500 feet away.
Yeah.
So it's not even it's not just size, but it's viewing distance. So I think that there will be applications for it. Maybe doing like public art installations or something. If you want to have like a mural-sized print, and you want people to be able to walk up right next to it and check out
And
details.
not see a pixel or
Right. I think that would be pretty cool. There's some stuff you could do there. There may be some scientific applications for macro work. You can get it really close. So if you want to reveal details in a circuit board or something, you're going to have a lot of detail there.
That's true. Okay. I was just kind of curious about that. Yeah, because that's, I mean, 180 some megapixels.
That's crazy. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, and again, we're talking about the Panasonic S1R. We have the S1R and the S1.
Yep.
They're right next to it. And so this is the actual box. Anything else left in the box, or that?
Not anything interesting.
Box.
Yeah.
So
some cords, the strap.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one battery, the 3,000 milliamp battery. Well, it's really cool. And have you gone out and, I mean, you haven't even shot with this one yet, the S1?
Not the S1R, no.
Yeah, because we just unboxed it.
So one thing that these cameras are both doing, you can have a look if you want. Inside that viewfinder is a 5.7 million pixel OLED screen. It's very detailed.
5.7 million?
And that's one of the reasons why the battery needs to be so big, because pushing that many pixels, and this can actually refresh that at up to 120 frames per second.
Wow.
So when you're pushing that many pixels that quickly, you need a lot of power.
And that's why that battery drains.
Right. That's a big part of it. But yeah, it's I've been very impressed with them so far. These are not final firmware versions, so I do want to make that clear. Like in the hands-on, there are some things I talk about, like some autofocus hiccups I noticed that maybe will be fixed by the time these cameras actually ship. So.
Well, we've got one more question here. How does it stack up to the Sony A7R?
It's, well, first of all, just to be clear, like I have not shot the S1R yet. So in terms of like an image quality comparison, I can't really say anything there yet. But in terms of the physical build of the camera, Panasonic has really gone even higher end than really where Sony's targeting. And they even told me that. They were like, we're not trying to necessarily take the same customer that Sony's going after. They're actually looking for an even higher end market.
Okay. So it's a real specific targeted market for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's and we've got the review of the S1 up, but the S1R that'll be coming.
Yeah, that'll be coming hopefully a couple weeks. So.
Any final things you want to let people know about it? I mean, other than you haven't tried it out yet, but
one other unique thing is this does have dual card slots, and they are using XQD and SD.
So you have the option.
SD is the standard. XQD is less common, but it's really, really fast. And they will be upgrading that via firmware to allow the new CF Express format, which is basically like having a mini solid-state drive in a smaller format that you can fit in your camera.
Wow.
They're super fast. So that's another thing that separates this from the Sony. So if you are shooting, say, a bunch of those 188 megapixel files that are going to be huge, those XQD and CFast cards will let you transfer all that data a lot more quickly. It won't just mean better performance in the camera, but it will mean faster offloading times to import your images later. So
very cool. That's when you might want to get that Samsung terabyte SD card for at this point.
Yeah,
because 188 megapixels, that's going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
All right, well, Davin, thank you so much for bringing this in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is always cool. I mean, this is something we just got to see. How many of us out there are going to be buying the $4,600 version of this? Probably not a lot of us. So we just got to see what it looks like when you do get something like that, which is really, really cool. And we've got lots of really cool things on today's show here at Digital Trends Live. So starting off at the beginning of the show, of course, we had Nicole Radian here. Happy International Women's Day, by the way. We started the show off with that, and I want to remind everybody about that. And then we had Yifat Bar Eli on from CyberHat, talking about white hat hackers and what it's like to get into that world. And then, of course, Davin here right now, our photography editor. And Davin, you've got all of your reviews up at Digital Trends as well, right?
Yep.
That people can go check out.
This one's up there now.
So make sure you check those out. Coming up next week, I'm going to be here in Portland, but we're going to be live at South by Southwest. We've got Pavi Dinamani, who's going to be on the ground out there bringing all kinds of interviews. We'll be going live down there, and so we're really excited about that. So make sure to join us all next week for every episode. We'll have lots of other things going on as well. And I want to say thank you once again to everybody who tunes into the show every day. You can join us here 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, every weekday across all these different platforms. Drop in your comments, your questions, hit that subscribe button, and have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week with another episode of Digital Trends Live.